business, if I'm unsure about my positive or the attributes that are going to be appealing, I will feel a level of concern, whether it's concern for finances, it's concern for something, it's some fear-based something or other. So that concept doesn't change from personal to business. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to think about what things you can identify within your business immediately. So this is step one, what things can I immediately identify within my business that gives me a platform to grow. Obviously, when you start to encourage these types of formulas into your mentality as you're addressing your business, you can bring all these other resources in to support it. So again, is that making some kind of, it makes sense? Yeah? Okay. So the integration of social media into our marketing mix, and again, I'm a really big fan for lots of reasons. The integration of social media into our marketing mix has created a platform that this can be done automatically, and everybody has an expectation that this is the way that we're going to do business. We're going to talk to you, we're going to communicate, and you are going to be open with us about what it is that you are doing, regardless of doing long-term in my business portfolio or what you are doing short-term in my, my inquiry about something within a retail outlet. And again, the concepts and the formula doesn't necessarily change no matter what. I mean, we talked about this as well with regards to your business, that you have this platform that you work from and that you have a retail outlet, and then you also identify that you require some other need within your business to be fulfilled in order to be able to satisfy your demands as a person, as a small business owner. So the idea is to formulate what you can, the benefits out of this platform, create a means of being able to satisfy those other things by finding more positives, by answering more questions. Is that so that? Yeah, right. So this is in a retail outlet, totally different to an insurance company, totally different to your business. Again, is totally unique to.
But if you've got the belief in it, the positives will come.
That is absolutely right. And as I said, I'm fortunate because I do tend to be fairly optimistic in my approach to, which is great. It's just a change of mind. It's a change of mindset. It really isn't something that you're born with or that you can't have. You just change your mind. And part of what the ability of social media does is assists us to be able to communicate that in a platform that's very simple, very easy, very open, and with an enormous audience, basically. So, and again, as I've talked a little bit about some of the implementation of this kind of communication with social media, for example, some of the implementation, and again, why I have such great respect for Facebook as a platform, is because I have total control of how my conversation is heard, basically. Does that make sense too? So again, because I can control the content of the conversation to a degree, wouldn't it be fantastic, and it is possible, wouldn't it be fantastic if we identified a need in a customer and then we could control the thought processes around the way that customer perceived us as a business and our product as a usable item? We actually can, but we need to be very sure of why they're going to believe in it. So we need to be very sure of why we believe in it in order to be able to pass that message across. So again, is that reasonably clear? Okay, so...
Excuse me, Fiona, I've noticed a lot of people are on, I don't know anything about that side of it, but LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, for your business, LinkedIn would be ideal.
Well, that's where I'm been going a lot lately.
Yeah, right. So your business actually, I wouldn't deter away from any business from using Facebook. And again, I mean, I'm a big fan because it has such an enormous audience and it's free, and also you have total control over the conversation. Yes. LinkedIn is a professional network. So LinkedIn, you're restricted to a degree by the people that you can collaborate with on LinkedIn, because you need to be able to justify some kind of relationship.
But I'm finding the people we want to deal with are mostly with LinkedIn.
Are mostly there, and they will be with
Facebook,
yours.
Twitter.
However, your market is not just the people that, not just investors. Your market is the farmers as well, and the farmers. There's a number of different generations of your market that are coming through. There's a number of different thought processes that need to be taken into consideration. And I suppose if you looked at Coca-Cola, for example, and Coca-Cola decided that their market wasn't Facebook. Coca-Cola has 28 million fans or something on Facebook, which means nothing, except that they've obviously identified and look, Coca-Cola's probably not the best example because Coca-Cola, you know, look at Volkswagen, for example. I mean, Volkswagen has an enormous following. The reason why Volkswagen uses it, because the conversation is driving brand awareness. So, you know, it doesn't really matter whether your conversation is directly underpinning a relationship with a potential investor or a farmer who's going to, you know, collaborate with you as far as their, you know, their property portfolio. What does make a difference is the conversation around the business that you're in. So, and then what you derive, and I've said it before, what you derive out of that is some understanding of how you can benefit. But, you know, in the concept of we're just going to give away, we're going to give away, we're going to give this information, we're just going to look at this from a perspective that if our business is out there, it's going to be a good thing. So long as we can manage the correspondent, manage the image of that business, it's going to be a good thing. What we deem from that relationship will become apparent down the track. No different to the, you know, to Andrew getting in touch with you the other day. It's just on a broader scale. Is that making sense? It's no different than the networking that we've experienced in these groups.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
that's
right.
the only way I could get profile was a LinkedIn. Yeah.
Right. So
that was interesting.
Yeah.
Is that for the professionals? That one
So this is the one I was talking to you about the other day. Yeah. So that if you know, for your business, that would be ideal, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't move to, you know, a more common social media platform. And again, I'm sure that there are other things that will rise up and take the place. And I said it the other day that I think localised, you know, whether it's a localised industry-specific networks will rise up, and other things will rise up to take precedence over, you know, these mass sort of social media networks that we're, you know, a little bit unsure of where our audience is positioned unless we're provided with statistics, obviously. But it's worth just being a part of it because it moves us into a mentality where we understand that level of commitment from a conversational perspective much broader than we will if we're not a part of it. And you know, I really just would not. I really think, you know, and it wouldn't matter where you went on the internet, where you went anywhere in the world. Relationship selling is really the future of the sales process. You know, being able to build brand loyalty through building a relationship, and that really integrating that into part of your model is really important. So however you do that, however that happens within a context of you feeling comfortable is really important to the model of your business. There's lots of different ways that it can be applied, but they're just the two platforms that I would say be a part of that, and everything else will become clearer. So again, with relationship selling, it's really an issue of trust, and we're not speaking of trust as in, you know, if you provide me with a product or you provide me with a service and you do a good job, then I will provide you with my trust to, you know, service me again. We're talking about the relationship before the sales process. So we're talking about harbouring those, you know, again, strategic relationships that, and we talked about this as well, strategic relationships that encourage a longer term view from the people that we're selling to. And again, we spoke of Richardson and Wrench the other day. So that, again, you know, it would be a great shame, particularly when you know that the statistics are that every 7 years there's a cycle of, so these people, you know, Richardson Wrench, if they do their job properly, every year they don't have to change their database. I mean, they couldn't possibly fulfil 1,000 contracts in a year if you're a local real estate agent in Australia, in Armidale. So the idea would be to service those 7-year cycles really well, keep those relationships really well taken care of. You can step in and jump on that bandwagon because every month there's a new there's somebody else that's cycling in that 7 years. And we don't then have to compete in a mass market where we're, and I mean, being in a regional centre is one of the great advantages because people do tend to be loyal to business within regional areas, even if they're not, they'll still be brand aware and they'll still be price aware, but if you give them the opportunity, they will do what's right for the local community first. But it doesn't restrict you from, providing the same level of service to, to the greater market. So, whether that's internationally or whether that's nationally or whether that's a city-based integration or whatever. And same thing, you get Richardson Wrench on board. Richardson and Wrench has the same structure in every single place all over Australia. And, what would end up happening eventually is that you're servicing the head office rather than servicing all the individual. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by, the strategy behind relationships in the selling process now. And certainly, I mean, from the days back with Brad Cooper, it